Yes up guys, today I will tellin' about 1 cent coin of Canada, 1993. Country Canada. Period Queen Elizabeth II, 1953 to 2023. Currency Canadian dollar. Coin type circulation coins. Denomination 1 cent. Currency rate 0.01 Canadian dollars equal to 0.01 US dollars. Year 1993. Ruler Elizabeth II. Composition bronze. Edge type smooth. Shape 12-sided. Alignment metal 0 degree. Weight G 2.5. Diameter mm 19.1. Thickness mm 1.45. Number KNM 181. In Canada, 2012 is an out-of-production coin worth 1 cent or 1/100 of a dollar. According to the Royal Canadian Mint, the official term for the coin is the 1 cent piece, but in practice the terms penny and cent predominate. Citation needed. Penny was likely readily adopted because the previous coinage in Canada, up to 1858, was the British monetary system, where Canada used British pounds, shillings, and pence as coinage alongside U.S. decimal coins. Like all Canadian coins, the obverse depicts the reigning Canadian monarch at the time of issue. Production of the penny ceased in May 2012, and the Royal Canadian Mint ceased distribution of them as of February 4, 2013. However, the coin remains legal tender. Nevertheless, once distribution of the coin ceased, vendors were no longer expected to return pennies as change for cash purchases and were encouraged to round purchases to the nearest 5 cents. Goods can still be priced in 1 cent increments, with non-cash transactions like credit cards being paid to the exact cent. The first pennies minted for what would later become the Canadian Confederation originated in legislation enacted in 1853. Per the Act 16 Vict. C. 158, the province of Canada was to issue dollars, cents, and mills that would co-circulate with English shillings and pence. After 5 years, an order to mint new coins came in 1858 as an effort to improve the Canadian monetary system. This was needed as by this time the pounds, shillings, livres, and sous in circulation had become antiquated. Pennies or 1 cent coins were struck in bronze, had a diameter of 1 inch 25.4 millimeters, and weighed 1 pound 4.54 grams each. Coinage for pennies was commenced so late in the year that the bulk of the large order for cents had to be completed in 1859. 7 to 10,000 coins ordered easily exceeded the demand and wants of the public that year, as the population in the province of Canada at the time was not even 2 million people. This had a ripple effect, as the ample supply of newly issued coins were not withdrawn from circulation. The government of Canada had to intervene over the next 10 years by releasing them into circulation at a 20% discount. Fresh production of new cents with their weight increased to 1/5 ounce or 5.67 grams was not required until 1876. These pennies all have an H mint mark on them, as they were made in Birmingham, England, by Ralph Heaton and Sons. 910 Heaton continued to mint pennies for Canada in 1881 and 1882 while providing new coin presses and other machinery to the Royal Mint in London. 9 From a business standpoint, this was a failure for Heaton, as they partly sabotaged their own company by doing so. Enlargements to the facilities at the Royal Mint were completed in 1883, which meant they could handle Canadian coin production. The Royal Mint's deputy master made it clearly known to Canada's High Commissioner in London that Canadian coinage would be handled by the Royal Mint. 10 pennies, dated 1884, and those dated 1886 to 1888, were all made in London for Canada. On May 11, 1920, the Parliament of Canada issued a proclamation effective May 15th about a new bronze cent, which was to be 19.1 millimeters, 3/4 in wide, with a weight of 50 grains, 3.24 grams. These smaller pennies featured an unchanged obverse design with the effigy of George V looking left, surrounded by abbreviations. The reverse was given a new design with the words 1 cent supported by a maple leaf on either side, and bearing the word Canada above and the date of issue below. During this transition period, the old large cents were not withdrawn, but they were allowed to wear down through circulation until their redemption. Starting in 1922, a period of economic malaise that lasted throughout the mid-1920s led to low mintage amounts for pennies. Mintage figures marked a hesitant return in 1926. Over 2 million pieces were struck that year. When King George V died in January 1936, his son Edward VIII assumed the throne, but he soon abdicated in December 1936. Cash transactions in Canada are now rounded to the nearest multiple of 5 cents. The rounding is not done on each individual item, but on the total amount, with totals being rounded to the nearest multiple of 5, i.e., totals ending in 1 or 2 round down to 0, totals ending in 3, 4, 6, or 7 round to 5, and totals ending in 8 or 9 round up to 10. This is typical of cash rounding methods, not specific to Canada. While existing pennies will remain legal tender indefinitely, those in circulation were withdrawn on February 4, 2013. 5447, 55.